Alrighty. Let's check out this DLC. I also have to remember. So I think they just showed me where the... Okay, it's at the... Alright. If anyone is watching, I have not played this game in over a year. Do not expect too much from me. I get back in the hang of things.
Clive.
Is something the matter, Karen?
We'll start with that goes to the
You
Fallen,
seem
since that is the first DLC.
perturbed.
Don't know. But yes.
Go on.
Aaron.
It's probably quicker if I just show you. Here.
Some sort of crystal.
Purple crystals.
Though, I don't remember seeing one that color before.
Aye, well, that makes two of us. In all my long years of trading, both over and under the counter, I've never seen anything quite like it. They're calling them dusk crystals, on account of colour.
I see. And they could be used to cast magics.
That they can. Just like their brighter, shinier cousins. Difference is, they don't last as long. After a couple of goes lighting your pipe, they crumble away to nothing. That's how I heard about them. From crystal traders moaning that someone's been flooding the market with dodgy goods. And after asking the right people the right questions, and paying the right price, of course, I managed to get my hands on a sample.
I see why you're perturbed.
So, basically...
I hope.
I know this has to do with Omega.
Do you feel that, Clive?
Yes.
I'm wondering how the purple crystals relate to Omega. Ah yes, the purple skybox at the end. Remember you well. Oh yeah, these guys. I forgot about them.
All right, lads, that'll do for today.
Might be thinking of Unicorn.
I said that'll do
Might be
for
getting my
today.
RPG.
Yes, Chief. Yes, Chief.
Let's get this lot back to town, fill our purses and then our bellies. What did you two do now?
Also, if there is someone here, on my end, the stream quality looks kind of crap.
Stay calm, both
Confirm
of
or
you.
deny if the stream quality is crap if you're here. Might just be the preview I'm looking at.
Who needs a lantern when you've got one of these?
Also, if you can hear me. Because who knows, maybe I'm talking to the void right now.
All that work for a single spark. Well, there'll be no more sampling the merchandise today.
That sounded close, Chief. Really close. Really, really close.
Now, lads, What am I always
Okey
telling
dokey.
you? Good things come to those who run.
That's probably too quiet. Is that better? Yes or no? Check. Test 1 2. Testing 1 2. Doing this on the fly. Is it still too loud?
I've never felt a tremor this far inland before.
Me neither. But then I'd never seen skies like these till a few
Testing.
moons ago.
Maybe I need
There's
to up
been
my
no
mic.
change ever since. Come to think of it,
Things I don't want to max
first
out my
time
mic
I
and
ever heard
blow
of
that
these
out.
dust crystals was
Better?
after you lot
Still
came
needs to be a
back
little
from
quieter?
Dominion and
Voice still needs to be a little
brought us
louder?
with you.
Do you think the two things are connected?
Who knows? Could just be that with Drake's tail gone, the black market was running short of the good stuff. The Dominion's mines were the only source.
Still a little too loud?
Left in
Alright, alright.
storm after a certain evil outlaw decided to do away
Alright.
with the others.
Alright, that's another
Price of
10
diesel
decibels.
crystals
Is
going
that
through the roof.
better? Still too loud?
To dealing in stuff they'd never have touched before.
The question is, who's selling these crystals and where?
Good now? Alright. And voice is good? You can hear me clear? Or as clear as
This color
my muffled, saliva-filled mouth can be?
origin, could they?
Which maybe that was a little too descriptive. I apologize for that.
Form in the sky, and that was long after we returned from the Dominion. But if they didn't come from Origin or any of the other mother crystals, then
Because I can still turn my mic up too if I need to.
That you missed one. Aye. That were my thinking any road. Another mother crystal we didn't know.
Loud and clear. Good, good.
I'll speak with Joshua.
Alright, well, welcome to the stream,
And quicker.
George and Yansa.
On account of
Um,
which, I'll take this
glad to see you here.
tomes for you. Get him to give it a once over.
Have you kind of followed the channel, or are you more Final Fantasy 16 fans that are just checking in on someone experiencing experiencing the DLC?
Right again. I will. Let me go and find Joshua, and we'll meet you in the shelves.
And also, I said this earlier, but I have not played this game in well over a year. So I still have to like refamiliarize myself with the controls. So I'm probably going to be really bad.
Joshua,
Oh, well, thank you, George.
Karen's caught wind of something that I don't think we can afford to.
I hope the recent videos. I'm glad. You know, I like this game too. I'm one of the reasons for this live stream is to get content, because I am actually going to make a new video on 16 after playing the DLC. And my overall thoughts on 16 are really that I liked it. I did. I liked it. But I share a lot of the same thoughts that other people did, which is why I kind of didn't make more videos on it. But I think it's time for me to like look ahead now that the DLC's done. I think there's hints that Yoshi P and CBU2 or whatever they're called now are making Final Fantasy 17 potentially, if not a sequel to this game. So I think it's time to make a video looking ahead and kind of giving some commentary on what I kind of want if they make another game. And yeah, it was a while ago. You know, I didn't hate the story. I didn't love the story, didn't hate the story. I honestly think this game is solid. I think it's probably overhated, in my opinion. I think the combat foundations are extremely solid. Genuinely. It mostly just suffers from a lack of difficulty. But yeah. And thank you, George, for watching all my videos. I hope you've been kind of enjoying the recent content. I've kind of... right now, I'm most excited for Metaphor ReFantazio, if that wasn't obvious, based on my, like, 2 videos on Atlas recently. But, yeah, I still have a soft spot in my heart for 16, obviously.
I hazard that it was not Ultima who created these crystals, but humanity. More specifically, our fallen forebears, whose wonders litter the land even now.
But yeah, I'm
Legend holds
right now, you know, like I said, I liked 16. I'm just kind of looking ahead, forever an optimist, hoping for
wish to learn the secrets
lessons to be learned and for 17 to, you know,
So they could make their own.
become a progression.
You may recall that the tale of the sins of Zemeckis begins with the colloquy of the sages.
Yeah, yeah, and so I'm exactly with you. I mean,
Humanity sought to uncover the last secrets of the gods.
I think Bahamut, for me, I like the Bahamut fight a little more than the Titan fight.
Perfectly possible.
The Bahamut fight was some of the highest highs I've had in video games in the past few years.
Among their many achievements,
The lows, I mean, the lows felt like playing an MMO, except you're playing a single player game, so it felt a little less forgivable. I think that's the main problem with it, is it was just very MMO-y, which makes sense given the developers. So I didn't hate it, but I definitely think they can do better, is kind of like my take on it. I think they can definitely tighten up storytelling, kind of focus more on quality over quantity. I mean, there were like 70 side quests or something.
Eyes themselves turned black and began to boil.
But yeah,
First recorded RK Sky, I suspect.
and yeah, Metaphor has me really excited. I know some people are
My belief,
kind of on the fence because it looks very Persona-y. To me, that's a good thing.
stirred to life by a similar etheric
Yeah, Pogo, if you ever played Final Fantasy XIV,
creator's fall.
there's only one way to know for
if you ever played Final Fantasy XIV, Final Fantasy 16 is very similar. You see a lot of the DNA shared.
Where did you buy this one?
Down in Port Isolde when I was scratching around for supplies. Since the Imperials buggered
I'm actually interested to see in the DLC.
find all sorts of interesting stuff on the docks.
Oh, there were about 100?
Go and have a
For
chat
some reason, I thought there was like 70 something.
in the gaze.
But I'm very interested to see in the DLC, actually, if they
You know,
learn their lesson or if I'm about to go down to Port Isolde to do a fetch quest.
wrestle with you. Might be
It will be interesting to see.
Thank you. I will. Shall we then, brother?
I'm coming too. If there is another mother crystal out there and it's anything like the others, you'll need all the help you can get.
I was hoping you'd say that.
I would say that the art style looks a bit much at times. I'm hoping that when I get the game in my hands, that my brain filters it a little bit for Metaphor. Sometimes they go... You can tell they leaned totally into the art because, you know, they have a history with... Really, you know, they're famous for their really good UI, really good art direction. So I think they put a lot of resources into it, obviously. But I think it comes off a bit much. And as for the aesthetic, I actually kind of like the general aesthetic. If you ever look at a trailer, look at the skybox. It looks like painted. They're going for like an artsy, like you're in a medieval painting type thing, which is very apt considering all of the human designs are from Hieronymus Bosch. All right. But yeah, I think there are parts of the art style that I like. There are things that I've seen that I'm like, okay, this seems like a bit much, but maybe when I see it in motion, like directly in front of me, and I'm not hyper analyzing it in a trailer, it'll look better. I don't know. And yeah, I mean, I have a decent feeling, barring some like catastrophic problem, that Metaphor will be my game of the year. I'm just a really big fan of that Persona gameplay loop.
They're fast on their feet.
Is this a new character?
I wonder.
Do I remember this guy?
What indeed? Let's ask.
Sellsword. Alright, I do not know this guy.
Excuse me. Who were those men just now?
Bloody troublemakers, that's who. As soon as I asked them to present their packs for inspection, they turned white as a sheet and legged it. I chased them all away from the gates, but they're swift as hares. Still, at least we kept the bastards out. Don't need their kind stirring up any more strife.
And what manner of strife have they been stirring up, exactly?
Hey? Are you joking? This business with the crystals?
Sorry, we've been away for a while. What's been going on?
All right.
So,
Humor you. After the poultry ration,
sorry, I'm not talking much. I'm
dried up.
trying to pay attention to some story. I've been talking over it all.
We turned a blind eye at first.
I'll,
Lord Byron's orders. Well, he saw it, it weren't right to deny people the one thing they were all clamoring for. Till the dust started turning up, that is. Dusk crystals, they're called. Ill-favored shards that crack as soon as you look at them. Not that the folk who bought them by the bucket load knew that.
okay, they're just retreading stuff they already established a little bit.
And the lordship had to step in and ban the blasted things. And we've been searching the pack of every trader who's darkened our gates ever since.
see.
I think,
And you think the men you were pursuing...
yeah, there's a lot of JRPGs coming out this year.
Why?
So
For some.
I have quite a few thoughts.
In fact, I put a few gill on.
Quite a few.
We might still be able to catch them.
If you are heading up that way, you want to keep your sword handy. It's more than
Understood.
All right, so we're gonna chase those guys that stole the crystals. Great. So I'll take it slow because I want to kind of cover some of the stuff in chat. So first things first, I want Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to win Game of the Year. Probably, I think that would be fantastic. I mean, I played it. I mean, I played a chunk of it. So this is where my thoughts come in. I played a good chunk of it, and the parts I played, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is just a really good video game, really well made. It really does bring back that kind of childhood feeling of this giant open world and all the things you can do. Oh, he's dead. I just gotta flare him. So it's a really well-made game. I kind of hope it wins Game of the Year just because of how much effort they obviously put into it and how much love they put into it. And it'd be great for, Japanese RPGs. That said, personally, this is all personal. I'm not a huge fan of like open worldy games generally, and I started to get open world fatigue with the game pretty bad. I think it's, it kind of has that Ubisoft gameplay loop. I mean, it does. Whether you want to admit it or not. And so for that, I kind of bounced off of it, but I can take my opinion out of it and say, this game is just a good game that is beloved and it deserves praise. So for me personally, Metaphor is probably going to be my game of the year because it hits more of the notes I want it to hit. Or I think it will hit more of the games. I mean, it hasn't come out yet, so we'll see. Better not speak too soon.
Still no sign of those.
The thing with Persona 3 Reload, I saw someone mention that they loved Persona 5 when it came out, but they didn't like Reload as much. The thing I'll say, while Reload looked really good, and it is where the games came from, and I think it should be appreciated for that. Oh, that guy. Do I recognize that face? What was I say? Oh yeah, Persona 3 Reload. I think the problem Persona 3 Reload has is that since it's the first game of like the three modern Personas, the core gameplay loop is not nearly as strong as it is in Persona 5. I mean, just having the 3 stats alone simplifies the social life side of things so much that for me it started to become unfun. Especially because like all the optional, he's just sending us another direction. Because all of the optional, going out to eat sushi or going to the arcade to play games or working at the cafe, they all gave you 2 stat points, like no matter what. So there's no like min-maxing to it. It was just very simple. So I think Persona 3 Reload as a video game is a little weaker than the other two for sure. Persona 4 I would say is a little weaker than 5, and 5 is probably the strongest for pure gameplay. I think most of the contentions people make are more about story and characters than they are about gameplay, because I think objectively Persona 5 is the strongest. And when you think Metaphor is an evolution of Persona 5, it's a brand new game. I'm hopeful and somewhat confident that they'll manage to make the gameplay loop just as strong as it was in Persona 5, which is part of the reason why I'm really excited for it. And yeah, I mean, a lot of it's optional. I'm the type of guy where you give me 50 side quests, I'm going to do the 50 side quests. It's just like a mental block I have where I have to complete it. Like, I did all the side quests in this game before I beat it. I'm just that type of person where I like... It's not optional. You know, it's optional, but it's not optional. If you know what I mean. So, and I think that's really why I get open world fatigue so much, because a lot of the time, I think the developers don't really want you to do everything in open world games. So, let's see here. I'm trying to remember, do I just have to like kill everyone here? But yeah. I guess I'll just fucking kill everyone. Hmm? Alrighty. Do I just need to go to the pylon? But, oh, no, I just had to kill everyone, I guess. Search for the traitors. I feel like the camera's, like, really kind of, like, really snappy for some reason. Or maybe snappy's not the right word. Honestly, if I were to go back to 7 Remake, I would definitely just kind of skip most of the side stuff. It was enjoyable, but I definitely got burnt on it, you know. It's just, like I said, open world and me just don't jive the best a lot of the time.
This should be far enough.
I found the Proto Relic quest kind of fun, but being the completionist, like I did the tower defense one. I also just I played Remake before I played Rebirth, including the DLC. So I was like decent at that, but like because I'm the completionist, I did it on hard mode. So.
You've been selling some crystals.
And like I told your thieving mates, you're not fucking getting them. So you could take your massive sword and shove it.
I'm sure I could, but we're not thieves.
Which, by the way, I did beat it on hard, but I saw that pattern repeated another 5 times.
If you've got a plan, Chief, tell us you've got a plan.
Of course I've got a bloody plan. Good things and all that. let's start again, shall we? You say you're interested in the crystal trade?
Not exactly. In actual fact, we were hoping to talk about this.
Is that all? Well, then I know just how to help. If you're after the short shifter, he's over here!
Are you mad?
Favorite 16 character?
Slippery little pricks. Clinkers on the
Honestly, it's a cop-out, but probably Clive.
Gentlemen, you've got it all wrong. Merchants. He's the one you want.
I like Sid, but he dies too early.
In his hand.
I feel like Clive's the only one that gets enough screen time for me to feel really attached to him. Sid is a better written character. He just like leaves the story a quarter of the way through, right? Because he dies.
Won't get far, Clive.
I don't know. It'd either be Sid or Clive for sure. I guess I'll just kill these guys. How do I lock on again? I forgot. Hold on. Oh. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Come on, hit me. Oh, I dodged too early. Hit me. Oh. I look at chat for a second. Alright. How do I Zantetsu skin again? I thought I have to do it on like a no. Oh, I have to hold. Gotcha. Alright. I played Remake on 7 Remake on hard. I actually really enjoyed it. I used to be a 7 Remake combat hater. It made me come around. The problem I had with Rebirth is almost all just with the too much content. And yeah, I mean the thing is, Yansa, is you'll realize people have nostalgia for things, and the nostalgia oftentimes I don't know how to put it without being a dick, but the nostalgia kind of outweighs logic in a lot of ways. You know, like I will say I think there are things I can compliment Persona 3 on. Like one, it gets to the meaty parts of the game really fast. Like I think within 30 minutes you've already done like the intro and like you're just doing the core gameplay loop already. That's great. A lot better than like the 5 hours it takes for Persona 5. There are things about it. I like the cast a lot. I actually think Persona 3's cast is my favorite cast that I've seen for Persona games. But yeah, I mean, it's just an older game, and like the dungeon isn't good. Everyone knows the dungeon isn't good. You know, that's not like some like hot take. And oh, sorry. Thinking right now. Oh yeah, cancel. Oh, sorry. So yeah, and the social side of things just isn't as good either. How do I lock on in this game? What is that? It L1? L1. feel like I need to redo my setup. No, I'm just face tanking this. But yeah, I mean, Persona 3, I think because it was the first modern Persona game, it's hyped up a lot. And people just did it first. But I think it's, you know, I think it's decent. Don't get me wrong. But I definitely think it shows its age. I think that's the best way to put it. Even with the graphic update.
I doubt they'd leave this crystal behind. Regardless, we're on the right track. Let's pick up the pace.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, I didn't hate Tartarus. It's just obviously not good. Like, I was okay with it. The thing that I actually died, I remember I died, I had to save some students. I died and it sent me back to the beginning because I didn't save. And yeah, no, that is when I bounced. That is when I bounced off of it because I'm like, man, there's not even like autosave when you go to a new floor. It just, you know, it's just interesting. And sure, yeah, haha, I'm bad. You know, got my weakness hit, and party leader dies. That's the end of it, right? But reminds me of I recently beat Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. You can now save everywhere, but they don't have autosave, which is mind-boggling to me.
But of course you did. Because you know what we're capable of, don't you? Now, you deal in crystal. Dusk crystal. And we want to know where you got it.
I like how they totally I like how they definitely wrote this like you're like trying to like find illegal drugs when it's just some crystals, some like shoddy crystals.
Why would we tell you where we procure our stock? What kind of shepherd?
I feel like they're acting like this is like heroin and they're trying to like root out the source of the heroin. Or maybe more aptly crystal meth.
Clive, the tower.
Well, that's new.
That's impossible.
Yeah, Chief. Do you think someone else got into the tower?
Quiet, you daft sod.
And what would they find there if they did?
I wouldn't know. I've never been there. Echoes, maybe? Or fallen rubbish? I really couldn't say. The entrance is sealed tight. No way in.
And how would you know that if you've never been there?
Look! Behind you! An Akashic monster!
If you think I'm going to fall for another one of your cheap tricks...
Clive, trouble.
Classic.
What?
Yeah, the writing in this is actually pretty decent, honestly. Although it does have the same like how far did I just run? Like a kilometer to catch up to these guys.
Wait, don't you dare!
So, Yansa, to answer your question, I played SMT5 when it originally released on Switch. And I beat SMT5 Vengeance. So maybe that tells you everything you need to know. But yes, I think Vengeance is actually really good. It fixed a lot of the like baseline issues that I had with the game. Oh, I'm actually taking damage. So, I mean, I would definitely recommend it. If you are into games where you, like, manage your party, right? Like, the entire game is just managing your party. And, like, going to fight a boss, figuring out what the boss is about, and then beating the boss. You know, setting up your party and then beating the boss. It's more of, like, to me, it's more of a classic JRPG in that sense. You know, like what people like about older games a lot of the time. So yeah, I would recommend it. Also, you didn't get past the first ley line. Yeah, that's you did not make it very far. If you, yeah, there are parts of it that I think are definitely weak. I think their level design is pretty mediocre. At least like there's certain parts of the game where the game becomes very linear, but they're pretty quick and you can just kind of force yourself through it. The more wide linear open worldy stuff where you're like finding the Memon, I actually found pretty fun, and I found the boss fights to be rewarding because of the way that you manage your party comp. So yeah, if you like games like that where like, you know, I would play on hard mode, and if you like games where you have to think about your comp and what your skills are and what your weaknesses are, definitely recommend it.
But at least we know what was chasing the merchants.
Okay.
That's twice we've saved them now.
Yeah. The reason I kind of bounced off the first one was one, because it was on Switch and ran like crap. Two, I would die and have to go back to the ley line, so then I found myself running all the way back, or using the return pillar to go back to the ley line and running back like after every fight if I was in a hard section. Now you can just save everywhere, so it made the game feel a lot better. And the new storyline is actually a storyline, so that's an improvement. So I think the storyline helped pull me through a little bit more too. You know, it's not gonna win any prizes for storytelling, but it's, you know, it's reasonable.
The dusk crystals, aye. Halleck, Marnik, we're going back to that tower if it's the last thing we do.
But the lights, Chief. What about the lights?
First you whine about it being too dark, then you whine about it being too light. Think about how easy it'll be to mine now.
I'm debating. I think I want to pull off my take off my Zantetsuken skills.
And you're sure they're bound for the tower? When they aren't running away from trouble, they're running towards it.
Do you know anything of the place, Joshua?
I don't remember why I had this build. It doesn't feel like super good. Feels kind of memey.
On some maps, but beyond that, the ruins are no different from any other fallen derelict. Another impenetrable relic of the past.
Not so impenetrable, apparently. Our friends plainly found a way in.
They could be living there, like we do in the Invincible.
Well, the tower is unquestionably large enough to hide 3 merchants. But is it large enough to hide what we seek?
A mother crystal.
It would go some way to explain why the area was among the first in Rosaria to fall to the Blight.
Then it's settled. We head to Eastpool and make our approach from the dim.
I will say one thing that I'm glad that they did with this DLC is they have the whole gang here, which is pretty nice.
All this time. The wars that could have been avoided.
Yeah, I will say one problem that I think needs to be addressed if they ever make a game like this again is that all of the ultimate moves are way too overpowered. And so, oh, do I have new gear? And so because of that, you kind of like load up on all the ultimate moves you can buy, which in turn makes it so you don't have to play the game. You know, which is, I think, definitely one of the problems. Do I want Titan or do I want Phoenix? Do Phoenix. Oh yeah, let's see here. I have 8,000 points. I have 8,000 points. What do I want to do with them? For that. Did they, I don't think they did. This game really could have used loadouts. Oh, I did not know they made some of the icon feats better. Did not know that. Which ones? I'm trying to think of what the Oh, didn't they buff Bahamut, the Bahamut feats? Because Bahamut was definitely underpowered, for sure. So that would not surprise me if they buffed. Not buffed. Let's see, what do I want to do? I don't really want to do lightning rod cheese. I think I really like the Titan abilities. Oh, they did add loadouts. Where are loadouts in here? They... I have Wicked Wheel, so I want to do my good old Wicked Wheel upheaval. I think I'll do Wicked Wheel upheaval. I will put Raging Fist on that, and then I don't really need Heat Wave. I really want Flames of Rebirth. I have 13,000 points. I could just do something stupid like Diamond does. Brings up the wings immediately on a perfect dodge? Alright, I'm gonna have to get good, because I have been failing all of my dodges so far. Alright. Let's see here. I want to do Raging Fists. And... Didn't I just did I not master it? What did I do? I didn't master it. I mastered it. Do I want that over Judgment Bolt? I guess so. Need something for stagger. Man, I have so many points I can literally just like have an ultimate move mastered. They really need more point sinks on this game. They really need more point sinks. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, the remove ability was definitely a little weak. Still not a huge fan of it, but if you're a person who likes casting, I could definitely see wanting to use it. So I think it's good that they did that. Probably still is the worst feat, but at least if you want to be a magic caster, it's a little better, I guess. Don't really want. I just want to kill stuff.
Shouldn't we at least have warned them?
Is this bringing me into... So, if I recall, down this way on the left, I remember playing the game, and down this way on the left there was like a door that went nowhere. Is that what this is? Is that where I'm going? I was hoping it would be a dungeon in the base game, which unfortunately they didn't really exist in the base game.
Are those goblins? What are they doing in the Deadlands?
Wait, you couldn't freely change the controller layout in the base game? Like you had to... Was that locked to the gameplay? Or to the playthrough? Like that save? That'd be kind of nuts. That's how it was. Oh, you mean you can bind any button to anything. You don't just have like the 3 layouts. Okay, okay. That makes more sense. Yeah. No, I remember that being a thing when the game first came out, because people wanted, Why can I not use any abilities? Mike? there a reason why I can't use any abilities right now? Did I accidentally, like, equip an alternate loadout or something? I might have done that. Am I crazy? Could even do my charged blade. Oh, the Deadlands? I didn't know that was a... I didn't remember that was a thing. Oh, because there's no crystal. Oh.
I'd almost forgotten what it was like to have to rely on steel alone.
Clive? Joe?
See? That's interesting.
You may want to see this.
I'm guessing this is the door that was here in the base game. Yep. But there is no door here anymore, and that's the hole. Okay. For some reason, I didn't remember the Blight doing that.
Someone was in a hurry. 3 guesses as to who.
Then this must be their way into the tower.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah. No, it has been over a year now, so I've not touched this game since I beat it. Which, yeah, I beat it, I think that weekend. That it came out. Well, yeah, maybe sometime the week after it came out. It's been over a year now. Kind of crazy to think about. Where does the time go? Where does the time go?
It seems somebody's woken this place up. The question is, who?
Well, I can tell you who it wasn't.
Unauthorized biometrics detected.
Someone's here.
Initializing security scan. Safety protocols disengaged.
There's my Omega.
I don't think that was someone, Clive. I think it was the tower.
Either way, it doesn't sound like we're welcome. Keep your guard up.
I wish there was a sprint button. Ooh, that organ sounds nice. Oh. Man, I am definitely out of practice with this shit. Okay, I can do that. I accidentally messed up my build. I'm gonna have to fix that after. I think I forgot what the dodge button was. I actually want you to be upheaval. You to... And you to be Raging Fists. There we go. Wait, no, that's Raging Fist. I want you to... This judgment bill? I didn't realize I had something double bound. I'm like losing it. So I didn't buy any potions. Alright. There we go. That went a little quicker. Getting there. Gears are turning. Escapement bit. Oh, I probably don't need Breath of the Darkness. Do that. Probably should have looked at my accessories. More melee strikes. Okay.
More goblins. So now we know where they got their weapons.
There.
But how long have they been hiding here?
Dead. Oh, more enemies. See, this is what's crazy is that this whole animation, my cooldowns are tight. Oh, hello. Hello. No. All right, have a good night. And yeah, the video is coming. I do not make any guarantees on when, but it is coming. Classic Final Fantasy 16 gameplay right here. All the particle effects and the dead bit rate. Is this the right way? Nope.
Dusk crystals everywhere.
Well, that's one mystery solved.
But there's no mother crystal.
Yet.
Hmm.
Still have plenty of tower to explore.
And I might need to knock my camera sensitivity down. I feel like it's snapping pretty fast.
I know that voice.
Not used to playing out of controller.
Well, look who it is.
This is an interesting boss design. Or mini boss, I should say. I'm hoping that I still respond with full potions, because I'm probably going to die to Omega.
Warning. Core defense systems engaged. Initiating sterilization lockdown.
What the hell is it talking about, Joshua?
Good things, lads. Good things.
Also, if these guys just wanted dust crystals, why did they go so deep? Like, we just passed, like, 1,000 on our way here.
Hey! Over here. Take your friend and get out of this place. Now! Will they run away? We do the fighting.
Good old mini boss music. Get parried!
I think you've made it angry. Fireball to the side of the head will do that.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Oh. The camera got me. Alright. Oh. Alright, do the thing. Get the damage multiplier up. Alright, damage multiplier's maxed out. Judgment Bolt. Giga Flare. Might be able to get one more Wicked Wheel upheaval in. That's all she wrote. Only 109k. Oh. Oh. Oh, this is interesting boss design. Oh, you bastard. Will I die? Alright, yeah, I died. This is what happens when you don't have potions. I'm actually glad though. Like, he does decent damage. Like, this is a nice little fight. Oh. That's where the... Oh, okay. Yep, now I maxed out on potions. I fucked up. I fucked up. Wait, that didn't even really hit him. This guy's got moves. Alright. Well, he's dead now. Alright, this should stagger. Yep. I guess I'll Raging Fist. Alright, he's Omega dead. Judgment Bolt into Giga Flare. This should kill. If it doesn't quite... Okay, I killed. Starting to get back into the rhythm of things a little bit. Is that better than the sword that I have? That'd be kind of funny. I think I have the best sword in the game. Or what was the best sword in the game.
Security Sentinel 503 offline. Initiating emergency core relocation protocol.
If I didn't know better, I'd say that was the heart of a mother crystal.
I knew that fallen thing was no match for you. Allow me to apologize for earlier. That was, ill-played. All born of a misunderstanding, though. Can we start again?
We don't need your apologies. We need answers. And you're going to give them to us.
I suppose you'll be wanting to know about the tower, then? As you've probably guessed, this isn't the first time we've been here. Fact is, my people have been coming to this place for centuries.
Have they now? To these ruins in particular?
Aye,
Oh.
well, they, talked to us, told us what this lot was all for.
And what is it for?
Well, believe it or not, the Fallen were actually using this place to make their own, mother crystal.
Oh, it's an artificial mother crystal? That makes sense.
Then, Harpocrates.
So I was actually just wondering what the element of this crystal would have even been. Because there's already a lightning crystal.
To craft crystals.
That's kind of nutty.
Go that far.
Well, that explains why they're also shitty shards, right?
Decent. But they're better than nothing, and nothing is what our people had before we found them. So we've been coming here ever since.
But these dust crystals have only recently appeared on the black market. What made you decide to start selling them?
The size. Once they went dark, the crystals started growing back till there were more than you could.
Okay, that's interesting.
And with the mothers
Honestly,
cracked, anyone with anything
the original quest design where I was chasing these guys for like a kilometer, kind of iffy. The writing on this isn't bad though.
Quality apart, these crystals are no different from the ones the world has been using since the dawn of time. And it cannot continue. No, it cannot.
Also very glad to see the two, to see Joshua and Jill making a little more presence in the story.
Then our path is clear. So let's do what must be done.
Wait, you lot aren't thinking what I think you're thinking, are you?
Oh, I think there's a good chance we are.
But what about the tower's defenses? That thing you just fought, it won't be the last one. And the further you climb, the worse they'll get. How about we head back to Martha's before someone gets hurt, eh?
That is sound advice, which I suggest you take before someone gets hurt.
All right. Well, I think I get the gist of it. All right. Yep. Conversation ends. Good, good. I don't need to talk to you anymore.
To think the Fallen built all this, the knowledge they must have needed, knowledge now lost.
Also, yeah, I guess this has to be written from the perspective of, like, I've beaten the game, but obviously Clive doesn't know. He kind of knows. I actually don't remember what Clive would even know at this point, if I'm being honest. Okay, that's a big ring. It has been too long. I don't know what parts of, I keep calling this Ultima, but it's Omega. I don't know what parts of, what knowledge of Ultima Clive has right now, honestly. We doing an elevator fight? Nope. Fade to black. So we're going this way.
Any idea what those are? They seem to be containers of some sort. Or perhaps...
Cages.
You know,
Like some sort
this really does remind me of Final Fantasy XIV a lot.
But why here?
However I pronounce your name, sorry. I don't want to butcher it. But, yeah, I would say overall, I enjoyed my time with 16. I didn't platinum it, but I did all the side quests and everything. Overall, it was enjoyable. I definitely think it has flaws, and in fact, I think most of the flaws that I saw in the game, other people also saw, which is why I kind of didn't make a video on it. Yeah, this is just better. Okay. You know, I didn't make a video on it partially because of life reasons, but also because Gur. All right, I'll call you Gur. But partially because, yeah, I mean, like, it has pacing issues. Some of the combat, you know, it has flaws with the combat, the gearing system, right? Like, this was the best sword in the game, the Gotterdammerung. Again, don't know how to pronounce that, but this DLC weapon that I just got off, like, a random chest is 15 power better than it, you know? Like, it has some issues, for sure. And in fact, I even put it in the description for this. the reason I'm even doing the stream is because I need to get footage for a video that I want to make, kind of talking about everything. I'm going to kind of frame it looking forward to Final Fantasy 17 or whatever the next project this team is working on. But, you know, I needed to get footage. I'm like, well, I should play the DLC. I'm like, well, I might as well stream it. Yes, and Gert, that is exactly how I feel. It has the highest highs I have felt in a very long time, and some of the middest, I don't want to say lowest lows, but the middest mids that I've ever experienced in a game too. Like, parts of this game are like the definition of mid. And so it's like, it's just weird. You know, you kind of get these conflicted feelings on it. But overall, if I had to, like, say, did I enjoy it? I would say yeah, you know. It wasn't bad. I don't regret the time I spent playing it. Alright, alright, alright. Level up. Woo. Almost level capped. How's it going, Darth? Your night going alright? I asked the other guys that were in here earlier, have you guys been following the channel a lot, or are you kind of Final Fantasy 16 fans that just stumbled across the channel? The random guy who's streaming the DLC months after it came out.
That device. It glows just like the doors.
Development log entry 680925. Mitogenic reactor trial successful. 23 units of grade 3C crystal produced. Moving forward, all seeds fabricated from inorganic material are to be replaced with lab-grown organic specimens.
Organic specimens. So they were turning living creatures into crystals. This won't be easy.
Oh, I pulled the trigger a little early on that one. Yeah, I always think that's a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of games, especially in recent Final Fantasy history, that are flawed, but people still love. And, you know, I think there are a lot of things to appreciate about this game. Even though, yeah, it definitely has its flaws.
Some of the creatures in these cages have been seeing Valisthea for 1,000 years.
Well, here's to a third.
Alright, just gonna go. Oh, out of range. Oh, you watched my videos way back when? Well, thank you for coming back after a year. I know it was quite the long break. And now, you know, kind of a meme, but yeah, I obviously haven't made any Final Fantasy 16 content since I came back. But, you know, the world moves on, and I'm sure when 17's announced, I'll probably be covering that too. You know, at the end of the day, I love, you know, Final Fantasy in general. Yeah, I actually saw some interviews. I don't remember if it was from the director or just a dev or who it was that kind of talked about 16. And one of the things I could not agree more with was the fact that I think they said like one of the biggest flaws with this game was that it was just too easy. And yeah, I mean, that is probably the number one thing I'm going to talk about in my video is like, I agree 100%. I think the foundational combat they have here is actually pretty good. Not the best ever, but, you know, competent. And I think it gets shit on a lot because, you know, people just face rolled it. And from what I've seen so far, these bosses have felt, I mean, I wouldn't call them like the hardest ever, but they're definitely harder than the base game. Or maybe that's just me being bad now that it's been a while. Although I will say, this guy could do more damage. Because being able to heal for free is kind of nutty. Like, there's just like a lot of little decisions that went into... And I think a lot of them were intentional, right? Like, this was like the first full action Final Fantasy game, so I think they, you know, very purposefully and mindfully made it as easy as they did. But I'm glad to see that they recognize, kind of in retrospect. Okay, yep. This is what I get for talking. That, you know, it could have been harder. And I guess you hope that if they are making 17, that they kind of, you know, learn. At least give a hard mode. Like, you can make normal mode that difficult, and I think that's fine. But, you know, give a hard mode. In a world with, you know, Dark Souls games everywhere, I don't think there's a reason to make your action game as easy as they did. Oh. Ow. I'm actually going to use all my heals. Alright, I guess I'll do this. Alright. Sorry, I focused for a second. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's crazy that, yeah, because yeah, you had to beat the level on the hard mode. I forgot what the hard mode was called. And then you had to go in the arcade to unlock Ultimaniac. Like, yeah. Just give a hard mode on, like, you know, game startup. And if you want to make, like, an ultra hard mode for New Game Plus, sure. But, I mean, like, your hard mode should be the type of, you should have a difficulty where people like me die more than, like, once in a 70-hour playthrough. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I really hope going forward, you know, and hopefully they do it on the PC port, because, yeah, that might be a sign that going forward they've kind of heard that critique and are looking to address it.
This is all too easy. If the tower is in control, why not simply disable
Yeah.
the lift?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing is, like, so they made a normal mode in the base game, right? And they had S-rank hunts, which are supposed to be, like, the hardest content in the game, and are totally optional. You do not have to do them, right? That is your time as a developer to make hard content, like, truly difficult content, and if people don't want to do it, they'll just skip it. It's, you know, they're all at the end of the game. and just like they weren't that hard. Certainly not hard enough, you know? Like I think I died once on Atlas and once on the Dragon. And there were 3 S ranks. I didn't even die in the 3rd one. Like, that just shouldn't be happening. I should have died. There should have been like one ultimate super boss that I died like 50 times on at least. You know, this is an action game. The fights last like, you know, 6-7 minutes. But, hey, I guess what are you gonna do about it? Like I said, I just hope, you know, they kind of learn from it going forward. Wait, how are you not dead? Wait, cancel. I'm not used to my button presses yet. Alright. I mean, I will absolutely defend the game's combat from a base level. I think, you know, they obviously hired Suzuki for it, who did Devil May Cry. And this has very fluid, very responsive, like solid combat. It really does. It's just most of the game is you pressing these buttons and all that. But like, really, it's a nice, fast-paced action game, which is what I love. And foundationally, it is excellent. It just, you never get pushed to have to experience it unless you, play on like Ultimaniac. And I think that's a shame, you know? Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I think there's a lot of nitpicks you can make about the combat, but that is, in my opinion, like, the #1 sin they committed when they made this game. Oh. Ow. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, I'm actually gonna die. I kind of wanted to do that, and I just, like, ate all of them. Oh my god. That was maybe a little greedy. You bastard. I'm so bad. I just want to parry you. There we go. Grab him. Diamond Dust, stagger him. Giga Flare him. Will this kill? I think it will. Okay. Man, those enemies actually did damage if you were greedy and just face tanked them. I didn't realize that the DLC changed directors to the Kingdom Hearts 2 director. That's actually, I'm gonna be honest, my favorite one of probably my favorite games ever, maybe my favorite game ever, is Kingdom Hearts 2. Specifically, I guess Final Mix, just because of the added bosses, but, like, the story's whatever, but it legitimately, I think, has my favorite combat in any video game ever. Which is probably why I was so excited for this game, because it's, you know, a fast-paced kind of anime action game. Um, and yeah, I played Dragon's Dogma 2, which I think is similar. I kind of forgot that Suzuki worked on that. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. And I mean, the thing is, too, is that Final Fantasy is definitely a, classical turn-based RPG, so I can 100% get that the developers wanted to make the game as easy and accessible as possible. They really just needed to remember that not everyone is like that. You know what I mean? That some people have played action games. Or, like, what's even really, like, super crazy to me is, Yoshi P makes Final Fantasy 14, and he should have known that a lot of people are coming to this game from Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 has really difficult content that people enjoy. And it's kind of crazy to me that he didn't stop to think like, oh, maybe I should add some to this game. You know? Like that kind of blows my mind. I don't know. Maybe it was a Suzuki thing. I kind of think it was probably a team thing. Okay, that hurt. I think I have too many ultimate moves.
Follow the ether, Clive.
Right.
Roulette. Oh, you bastard. There we go. Diamond Dust, get my thing up. I guess I can Wicked Wheel. Giga Flare. All my stuff is on cooldown. Will Judgment Bolt come up? Nope. Just missed. Roulette again. Oh, there's a laser. Oh, they're shooting balls at me. See, this is actually kind of interesting. This is basically a Final Fantasy XIV raid mechanic. Oh, I dodged the wrong way. Oh, you bitch. Oh, I forgot. You know what I just remembered? There's like that whole magic burst thing that I've not been doing at all. Ow. Okay. Maybe I don't do that. Ow, ow, ow. doing roulette again, I guess. Let me get this ready. Alright, here comes the laser. Balls. A lot of balls. Another laser. More balls. Alright, I can wait. Okay, the laser doesn't move, that's good. Got him. Oh. Wait, I really hope they weren't being serious when they said that Joshua collecting Gil was a con. I think every JRPG I've ever played, I shouldn't say everyone, because not everyone does it, but like, anytime I've ever played a JRPG where there's a party member that's separate from the party, it does not matter. Like, you get all of their items and resources. Usually people complain if you don't get it.
Unable to establish connection. Raising threat index.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe with Dragon's Dogma, they wanted it to be easier to not push people away, and they're like, oh, everyone's decent at the game, I'll make it harder. You know, like, that's fairly common, especially with a new IP. Also, I'm guessing he worked on Dragon's Dogma and then moved to Devil May Cry. So I don't know if Dragon's Dogma was one of the first games he kind of had a major hand in. But yeah. It very well could have been a Suzuki thing on top of a Yoshi P thing. You know, maybe it wasn't the whole team and just Suzuki. But given the context that this game was released in, being like the first real, I would say real, action RPG, it doesn't surprise me that they made it too easy. I think it's just a shame. Really? You kept complaining on Twitter? Look, man. Like I said, I've played a decent amount of JRPGs, and anytime there's been like a separate party member on their own, and they don't have access to the items, or the items they get don't join the party's items, it is like, you know, that is when you actually get people to hate it. Yeah. I mean, so the thing is when people don't like a game, they will find reasons to dislike it. I think that is just like a universal truth. And I do see that a lot with 16. Like, people say things that, like, are problems in games that they enjoy, but they're pointing out in 16 because, you know, haha, 16 bad. And, you know, I get it. It's kind of like human nature. But it is kind of funny, and it kind of sucks, you know what I mean? It's just, like, the reality. Like, 16 definitely has its flaws, but, you know, I think every game in existence has their flaws. That was actually a point I made in a recent video. There's not a video game on this planet Earth that doesn't have some sort of flaw. And if you want to, you can make it, you can shout it from the rooftops and make it seem like it's a big, huge deal. Or you can just kind of gloss over it because you enjoy the rest of the game. Yeah, this Judgment Bolt. But yeah. I don't know, man. Oh my god, I'm facing the wrong way. I can't turn. That's kind of annoying. Walking up and killing. Yeah. I mean, I find it kind of funny just because I know how much people were hyping up Rebirth even before it came out and saying how I remember when 16 came out and all the, you know, traditional JRPG old school fans were shitting on it and trying to compare it to Remake sales wise and saying how it was a failure. And now that the shoe's on the other foot, they're kind of like, oh, well, you know, blah, 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 you know, Rebirth, or, you know. And sure, yeah, Rebirth is a really good game. But I think everyone's realizing that when you have a sequel to a niche JRPG that's like 60 hours long and then the new game's 100 hours long, it's not going to sell well. You know, who would have thought? There's a whole nother entry. There's going to be another 100 hours on top of it. And, you know, obviously I want Final Fantasy to succeed as a Final Fantasy fan. But I do find it sad and funny. Funny and sad how the Final Fantasy base just seems to, like, cannibalize itself. Because, you know, 16 is different and I don't like it. So, because I don't like it, I'm going to say that, you know, it's a bad game and it didn't succeed. You know, these sales numbers are bad. But when it's a game I like and I want to see more of, oh, now it's a good game. And again, just human nature. It's like the guy who's complaining about not picking up, you know, the Joshua items counting. It's the sad truth. Oh. This will stagger, I think. Oh, that didn't stagger? Ow. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we should just support games that we enjoy and not support games we don't enjoy. There's no reason to, like, get in a tizzy about it. And I think ultimately, if you don't like 16, then the best thing you can do is just not vote with your wallet, right? And if the sales are bad, then Square Enix will, like you said, determine if the sales are bad. And if they're good, then, you know, Square Enix will determine if the sales are good. And make more, right? So it's like, you know, I don't know. This whole, like, dick measuring contest of, oh, my game sold more than yours, or my game's successful, and or trying to paint this narrative, oh, 16 wasn't successful, see, I told you that people don't like action games. It's just kind of silly, really. And I mean, everyone just the other reality is everyone is talking out of their ass when they talk about sales numbers. Unless you are on, like, the core Square Enix team, you do not know what you're talking about. So stop acting like it. You do not know what their performance metrics were. You don't know how much 16 cost to make, if it was successful or not. I mean, I can tell you, I think Yoshi P's greatest strength as a developer is actually as a business manager and keeping things on budget and reducing risk via, you know, reducing budgets. I think that is by far his biggest strength as a game developer. And so I would wager a guess that despite what people think, 16 was probably still successful because it was probably not that expensive. And I would also wager a guess that 7 Rebirth probably cost a lot of money. I mean, at least they had Remake to help cover costs. But, you know, it was obviously a very ambitious game. And yeah, I like both the games too. and I want them both to succeed. It's just the whole discussion's just pointless and stupid. All it does is sow divisiveness in the community for no real reason.
Initializing emergency subroutines. Diverting reactor power.
I think it's getting ready to.
I actually was talking a little bit earlier about 7 Rebirth. Yeah, I could see them going multi-platform to try to increase sales. I think if I were to bet, I think so. They posted sales numbers for 16. This is probably the most telling thing. This is actually definitely the most telling thing. Square Enix posted 16 sales numbers like 3 days after launch. I think it was 3.5 million. I think it probably fell off quite a bit after that. But the fact that they posted it means that they think that did well, right? You wouldn't post it if you didn't think it did well. I don't think they posted anything about Rebirth sales numbers, which probably tells you everything you need to know. Like all of the numbers that we're getting are like conjecture based on physical sales and NA or something. And yeah, I think they're gonna go to multi-platform. I think that's why they're cutting back on AAAs too. I think they're looking for quality over quantity, which is, I mean, it's a little riskier. But frankly, their quantity strategy wasn't really working. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the future of Square looks like. I hope, you know, they kind of find their stride. And Rebirth is definitely a very good game. It just, unfortunately, doesn't really have a market. So, I mean, it does, but it's a very limited market. So, we'll see. Oh yeah, I got kind of sidetracked. I was also going to say, I was talking earlier about Rebirth, and I enjoyed Rebirth. I can definitely tell that it is a very good game made with a lot of love by very passionate developers. And it had some moments in it that were absolutely fantastic. I'm just not a big fan of open world games. Never have been. Pretty much never. At least that style open world games, like the Ubisoft style, where you go to the tower and you uncover all this stuff. I actually quite liked Elden Ring because it didn't do that. But yeah, so I kind of ended up burning out on it after, I don't know, probably 40, 50 hours. Still a good game. I would still recommend it to people, but yeah, just not my cup of tea, you know? Which is, you know, unfortunate, but it is what it is. But you don't see me, like, doom posting about 7 Rebirth either. Come on, abilities. Didn't do good enough to cover the message. I mean, I don't think they would set sales targets based on their failures, if that makes sense. I'm sure that is definitely hurting Square Enix right now, is that they had so many failed projects. For sure. But I mean, I think realistically, you kind of... Right, when you're making a game, you're like, okay, here's all the dev costs, here's how many units we need to sell in order to recoup those costs, and marketing. Here's how we're going to do that. Here's our plan. You know, you have like a sales plan. Yoshi P talked about that. And so I don't think Rebirth failed because other games that Square Enix failed. I think it costs a lot of money and the sales were not strong enough to recoup that cost. That is the ultimate, you know, bottom line. You know, that is it. That is what we were talking about when you talk sales. And I think a lot of people get stuck on, like, the numbers. Like, oh, it sold 1 million units. That's good. Oh, it sold, you know, 500,000 units. That's less good. And it's like, a game could... I mean, think about this. A game could sell 1 million units, and another game could sell 500,000 units. And the 1 million unit game could be a success, and the 500,000... Or... The 1 million unit game could be a failure, and the 500,000 unit game could be a success. You know, it all comes back to what your costs were, you know, and people just don't account for that. It's a lot easier to say, oh, number small, that bad, or number big, that good. Didn't mean to do that. Oop. Yeah. It is an extremely complex topic, really. I mean, I get the same sort of vibe from 16. I think they had strong initial sales, but it fell off quick because of, you know, middling reviews and people getting their hands on the game. So, you know, I think I think 16 sold enough to cover costs. I don't think it was as successful as they thought. I bet Rebirth is in a very similar boat. And yeah, I think Square does really want and kind of need at this point, because of all their flops, a absolute banger that, you know, sells 10 million units like Final Fantasy 15 did.
There. Now's our chance.
And yeah, I mean, the switch to live service is purely because of money. Like, you just get more money out of it, which is, you know, again, just another reality. I think live service is becoming a bit of a taboo word, though, and there's still risks associated with it. And yes, I also do think that it is a pretty big commentary on the AAA games industry, where, like, yeah, you need to now sell 5 million units to have a base level successful game. To cover costs, you need to sell 5 million units. Meanwhile, you know, I saw another Crab's Treasure sold 500,000 units, and they were celebrating that because it was just an indie game. I don't know how many people were working on it, but it probably covered costs. They probably made decent money, actually. You know, with 500,000 units. So I kind of wish that Square did more. They do more than most with, like, Octopath. You know, but they really could benefit from making more kind of small indies, because their style of JRPG really lends itself to it, and you can have, you know, lean development teams that make solid games with interesting concepts.
Quite. And if we want it.
But I mean, we'll see. The new CEO actually seems to be focusing harder on AAA and, like, making really well polished, really good games, which means more money sunk into the game. Which means you'll need to sell more, so it'll be interesting. If they make banger games, it'll work out. If they don't, then, you know, they'll have problems. Ooh. It's like a debuff marker. Oh. 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 I screwed the pooch on that one. I will say, I do really enjoy the music in 16. Alright. Now the fight may begin. I'm bad. Stop bullying me. Oh. Hi-Fi Rush is actually one of my favorite games from last year. Although I think I did hear that they had a bigger dev team than you think they did. But, I mean, it was just such a good game. It reminded me of a really good, like, PS2 game. In, like, the best way possible. Come on, stagger. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Selling 10 million units and, like, still doing layoffs because, you know, didn't make enough money. Or, you know, didn't need the dev team anymore. It just sucks. Okay. So that is definitely the state of the industry right now. It's gonna be very interesting to see what Final Fantasy IX ends up looking like too. On your HD2D comment.
Weapon routines authorized. Rerouting core power to Omega 1.
I think so. I definitely think a steady 60 would help the game. Don't get me wrong. And I know there's people who play like Final Fantasy 14 that don't have a PlayStation and are waiting for it to come to PC. So I think the PC port will help the game a lot. Especially, like you said, if it's well optimized. Thankfully, they produced for PC, so it should hopefully be. Because it's just using a modified 14 engine. But yeah, I think there's other problems too. But it'll be interesting to see what the PC port does in terms of like numbers, if they even talk about it. Also, spoilers, I have heard the song before, so I guess I spoiled myself.
Alright. I'm convinced.
Absolute banger. This is definitely a love letter to 14 fans. Got the whole chicken tender song. Which, by the way, if you have not played Final Fantasy XIV, this song is a Final Fantasy XIV reference. Chicken tenders. Ooh, okay, that's my HP right there. Holy particle effects, Batman. Oh. I'm going to die. This heals me slightly. Big fat tacos. Delta attack. My God, I should not have done that. I'm not gonna have enough damage here. Oh Oh god. Alright, just gonna Giga Flare. Giga Flare and a Raging Fist and Upheaval, I guess, and... I guess I'll wing it. Wings of Light. Oh. Holy! He's going Super Saiyan.
Seems like it still has some fire left in it. Nice try.
What? I dodged that. Oh, hello? Where's the safe spots? Where's the safe? Okay, I'm dead. Alright, I actually died. Oh yeah, for sure. If this was the difficulty of the whole game, like in the base game, I probably wouldn't have died here because I wouldn't take any damage. If this was like the difficulty of the whole game, yes, it would have been much better received. Oh, should probably just jump it for sure. Although it still gives me full potions and a full heal, and I go like halfway through the fight, so. I mean, there's still, I would say, almost like core issues with some of the gameplay design. Like, the dodge window is really long. I say as I get destroyed by a move. But in some ways, I mean, the particle effects are really heavy, so probably a good thing. But yeah, there are just like innate elements of the game that are make it easier than most. Hello? Ow, ow, ow. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. This should get me to stagger, so I can do this. And yeah, I agree. You can't expect them to have to play the game 2 or 3 times. Okay. I cannot dodge that move. It's like delayed. They actually made a delayed move. I wish there was a sprint button, especially on like big arenas like this. Ow. Oh fuck, this move again. I am dead. I am dead. I am dead. Oh. Not dead. Alright. Don't mention that I just totally missed. Might come back. Ow. Wait, no, that didn't hurt. Oh, this is about to hurt. What the? Oh, holy! Where did my HP just go? Dude, like, I wish more moves like that were in the base game. Holy. I just lost, like, 80% of my HP. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm not dead. I should be dead. Today on I shouldn't be alive. I'm actually using all of my potions. I might actually die again. God, the Garuda thing is so broken. Oh, I don't have any heals. Yep, okay. I was gonna say, I don't have any heals. I need to dodge this perfectly. I did not. Man, I am bad. And also, they made the game a lot harder. This is like, yeah, this is what the difficulty should have been. 100%. Look, and he got like half of his health back. Yeah. Oh, this is really good, actually. I mean, I am really rusty, but genuinely enjoyable. Oh my god, I always fuck that up. I wanted to Raging Fist it. Oh my god. Get up on the Hydra's back! Come on. I probably should have used this as a counter move. That was stupid. Do I want a Diamond Dust here? There's like a safe spot here. Oh. Alright. I should be able to stagger off this. Or it's gonna be pretty close. There we go. I want to save Diamond Dust to get my stagger damage up, and then I'm going to Judgment Bolt, and then I'm going to Giga Flare, and I'm going to Wicked Wheel Upheaval, and I'm going to use my fists. Wicked Wheel, Upheaval, Raging Fist. That is the combo. Ow. Oh god. That's like instant, man. Ah. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Let's do level 3, I guess. And diamond dust it. Oh. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's kind of rude, man. I was trying to punch you in the face. That was way too... Okay. Oh. Does this just cancel, Please tell me this just cancels his... Oh, he's not staggerable. Okay. I'm so bad I can't even touch the... Alright, please stagger. Thank you. Right, just leave with judgment, I guess. I should have let the wicked wheel. Do this. Get the multiplier up. I don't think this will kill. I think I'm gonna be short. Oh. I don't think his HP is going down. Is it going down? Okay. Wait, is this just a DPS check? Is this... Mega Aeonis? Oh, this is actually just a DPS check. Wait, something's pointing at me. I don't like that. Yeah, there's no stagger bar. Alright, I'm just blowing my load. There's no stagger bar. Just blow my load. What the fuck? What is happening on my screen? Raging Fist. Am I doing it? I guess I'll Wings of Light. Just like try to get some Mega Flare damage in. Diamond Dust again. Alright, I think he might be dead. I think he might be dead. Gonna be close. And I have Raging Fist after this. Judgment Bolt? Alright, he's dead. He's dead. Judgment Bolt. Alright. Woo! Pass the DPS check. Oh, I am max level. Oh. Alright. I hit 50. Honestly, I thought 50 was max. A crafting module. I'm guessing new weapon.
Omega Control Unit. Offline. Initiating emergency core extraction.
Crystal gets smaller? Or is that the same size?
Would you care to do the honors, Clive?
Honestly, good boss fight. It was basically a Final Fantasy XIV boss fight, which I mean, I think all of the bosses in this game kind of were.
For what? I thought I told you to
But, yeah. Actually did damage, had to use my heals, died twice, which I think is the same amount of times I died in the base game.
These crystals, they're all we have.
Genuinely, like, good. Proper good.
We are of an ancient tribe, one of the first to lose its lands to the Blight. For countless years, we were forced to roam the Twins. A nation without a mother crystal, a people without a blessing. So we found our own. The dust crystals provide us a means to survive.
Yes, but at what cost? Like all crystals, these shards channel ether. And where do you think that ether comes from? It's sucked from the land, as a leech sucks blood from a beast.
And what? You just expect us to believe that?
No, but that doesn't make what we've told you any less true. If this heart is anything like the others, it will bleed the twins of their life force, till naught remains, naught but death.
The proof is all around. What do you think robbed your people of their home in the first place? We are trying to stop that from happening again. And this is the only way.
Fuck me. You're Sid.
You saw what happened after the Empire lost Drake's head. What do you suppose they will do when they find out, as they surely will, that there is another heart hidden right here under their noses? Your people's need will count for naught.
Damn it. It doesn't look like we have much of a choice.
But you said you didn't believe him, Chief.
I don't. But the man does have a point. There's no keeping this place a secret now. And hanging on to these crystals will only get our people killed.
I find it kind of interesting that these people have just been living in the Blight.
Just promise me you'll leave my people out of it.
Like, there's got to be a tribe of them somewhere, right? Because he's like, leave my people out of it. Like, village chief. Yeah, interesting. Where do they live? Said bouncing around the twins, but I took that to mean that they're in the not blighted place. But after that conversation, I'm like, well, are they?
Search detected. Warning. System overload. System overload.
He just kind of smashed it.
Error. Core not found. System failure imminent. System failure.
I like the particle effects on like the flesh-looking stuff in the background.
I hope we did the right thing.
Well, honestly, like, I guess I'll wait for the cutscene to end. I'm assuming it's almost over. Hmm. Where's the door?
We all saw the crystal's fate.
Without the heart to sustain them, I doubt that.
I hope you're right. The last thing the world needs is one of those six-legged pests running around wreaking havoc. We have more than enough pests to deal with as
Koji definitely,
however blameless they may claim to be.
he definitely takes a lot of joy in writing.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering what I'm going to... I suppose I'll just beg them for forgiveness, and when that doesn't work,
You're planning to run away. Again.
What? It's got us this far, hasn't it? I mean, we may have had a bit of help, like.
Kind of you to remember.
Oh, we've made do without before. I reckon we'll survive. And if what you said is true, it's not like the rest of the realm's going to have it much. Besides, one man's ordeal is another man's...
Sorry, I'm kind of skipping the text here.
I don't recall ever hearing that one, but...
I know the dialogue's pretty much over, and I'm reading it.
Now, if you don't mind...
We do?
Thanks for everything.
The writing's charming, but, oh, I think I just skipped something.
Back to the hideaway then.
I was thinking we might first return to the tower and see if we can...
Back to the hideaway.
So, alright. I guess I'll head back to the hideaway, but, I think I can pretty much give my thoughts now on the DLC anyway. It was 2.5 hours, $10. Was it worth it? Meh. I guess if you get it with the DLC pass, you could argue it's less than 10, but the Omega boss fight is easily the best boss fight that I've played in this game so far. So arguably yes, depending on how much you like 16. I think the writing was decent. Like, it was definitely stronger than some of the other writing in this game. But, you know, not like the most compelling story ever. But there were some nice, you know, Maybe quirky's not the right word, but I want to say quirky lines from Koji. You know, Koji definitely had fun with it. And I feel like the team had fun with it.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like with the past, I still need to play the Leviathan DLC to, like, fully determine the pass value, because the Leviathan DLC is $20 without the pass. So arguably, like, it has more weight in the pass value. So I am looking forward to playing the.
They came as something of a surprise to us too.
You can say that again. We had no idea what we were getting ourselves into when we set foot in that tower.
Sorry, I just was reading your comments.
Of a people so consumed by greed that they sought to overthrow the gods. And I'd hazard the thing we found in that tower.
Yeah. So on your comments about 15s being mandatory to understand the game, it's also kind of funny. I got the Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition on PC, so I have the game with all DLC. I originally played it on PS4 when it like first came out.
He whom they strove to dethrone, just as we strive to dethrone him now.
Clive.
Okay, I'm kind of talking over the dialogue, and I'm like conflicted about it.
If I use it, as they did. Come now, brother. I think the events of recent days have made it as well.
You're right, they made crystals.
In crafting their artificial art, the fallen...
But I'll come back to your Final Fantasy 15 comment. Wait a second.
We just want to be free.
Freedom.
Well said. And so, that those who come after might learn from us.
Okay. All right. I think that is officially the end. So yeah. So with 15, I own all the DLC on PC. I originally played it on PS4. I have tried to go back multiple times on PC to get to the point where the DLC is relevant in the story, which is like the big time skip, or at least most of the DLC. And I just haven't been able to. I dislike the 15 combat so much that I can't bring myself to replay it, which is kind of sad, but true. So I still not played the 15 DLC. I just know that, yeah, it's like critical to the story of 15. I've also heard that it's very good. But yeah, I guess I can go to the forge. I think there's a new sword, probably.
Trouble with your gear, or what's that for you, dear?
Omega weapon, yep. New weapon. Alright. But with that, I guess I'll put my Omega sword on. With that, I think I'm going to have to call it, because I do not have enough time, I don't think. Oh, just upgraded the Omega weapon. I do not have enough time to do the Leviathan DLC, unfortunately. It's already almost 11 o'clock where I am. So, if you are still here and listening, I will probably pick up the Leviathan DLC tomorrow. I'm actually getting more viewers now, which is kind of funny. For people just coming in too, just finished the Omega DLC. Overall, I liked it. It definitely had the best boss fight out of any boss fight in the Final Fantasy 16 game, at least that I've played so far. Still have to play the Leviathan DLC to see how that feels. And I guess I should say, like, pure action boss fight, because I would say the spectacle, obviously, on some of the icon battles are higher highs than the Omega boss fight. But, like, as an actual boss fight, the Omega boss fight was really fun, really challenging. Okay, Leviathan's Meteor. I was going to say, I hope it's Meteor, because it does come at a $10 premium over this one. Actually, I have a question for you guys. How long is the Leviathan DLC? Just so I can plan for it. I actually haven't looked it up. Because, yeah, my plan would probably be to pick up this back up tomorrow to play the Leviathan DLC and finish capturing footage for the video that I'm trying to make. And if it's more than, like, 4 or 5 hours, probably like 4, I might have to do it over a couple days. I have to work during the day, unfortunately. I got a day job. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, you know, it was enjoyable. I do think it was enjoyable. I think, you know, I've said it before. I think Final Fantasy 16 has very solid combat. It's long. There's side quest too. Okay. 4 to 5 hours if you only do main, 10 if you do everything. Okay. It sounds like it's going to be a 2 or maybe even 3-day-er. I might, you know, fast read some dialogue to try to get through it. The other thing too is I get stuck chatting with you guys in the chat, which trust me, I love. I'm not complaining. It makes the streaming part of it a lot more engaging and fun. But that slows things down too. So yeah, I didn't really set a time for this. I'll say probably 7 o'clock EST tomorrow. I'll probably boot up the stream and start making headway on the Leviathan DLC. So if you're interested in that, I might even schedule it. Just so you know, as a reminder, if you guys even want to check it out. If not, you know, I'm glad you could be here for sure. I'm glad you watched. Hopefully you enjoyed it and enjoyed having a little chat with me. You know, obviously I'm very passionate about Final Fantasy and JRPGs in general, so I'm always open to talking more about video games and JRPGs and RPGs. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it for me, though. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good night. All right?